Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, the entire state now gearing up for a huge surge in vaccinations as essential workers become eligible today. And we're also looking ahead to the grand opening of Yakima's mass vaccination site.
Plus, we could soon see kids approved for the vaccine, what researchers are hoping to learn from a new study.
And getting ready for another rain chance ahead over the next couple of days. More details in that forecast. It's coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and thank you for starting your Wednesday with us. And it's not just any Wednesday, you guys. Today is St. Patrick's Day.
That is right.
I had to wear my green a little bit. I don't have much, but
I totally forgot.
You gotta watch out for those pinchers today.
Yes.
Well, I can't wear green today, unfortunately, or else I'd be see-through. So.
But hey, we're lucking out with the weather, right?
Yes, it's going to be a beautiful day today. So we're looking at a mostly sunny sky returning to our area today. No rain chances today, so safe bet to leave the umbrella at home. But live look right now downtown Yakima. There's a pretty quiet start, but with a clear sky, numbers have been really dropping this morning. So it is a very cold start. 29 in the Tri-Cities, 34 in Walla Walla. Hermiston this morning, you're at 30 degrees and also below that freezing mark for Yakima. You're sitting in at 28, but pretty quiet still around the Pacific Northwest, so not a whole lot moving through today. As we break down your Wednesday forecast, we'll see a lot more sunshine, a little bit warmer for today as well. 54 degrees by lunchtime, 63 degrees by later on this afternoon. So again, tracking that rain chance, will it be sticking around for the upcoming weekend? Your full forecast, it's all coming up.
Today, essential workers such as store clerks, food processors, and first responders all become eligible for the coronavirus vaccine in Washington state. The Benton County Fairgrounds mass vaccination site will be open from 9 to 5. Officials say they do still have appointments available for this week. The Yakima-County drive-through mass vaccination site at State Fair Park will open today after months of preparation. More than 33,000 people have received at least a first dose of the vaccine in Yakima County, but many more are still waiting. This week, the drive-through site aims to administer at least 500 doses with the goal of getting up to that many per day.
The drive-through site is very crucial to the community because it is allowing for accessible and low barrier options for the community.
Appointments are required and can be made using the Prep Mod website. Visitors must wear masks and stay in their car. The site will be open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the exception of Thursdays when the hours will be noon to 6. Thousands of people are getting their COVID-19 shots at local mass vaccination sites, but not everyone has the means to make the trip. So starting this week, people who are homebound have options when it comes to getting their shot. The Pasco Fire Department is offering to come and vaccinate people at their home who can't leave the house. For people who just need a ride to the site, the Benton Franklin Transit Center is offering free transportation.
There are individuals who have a hard time navigating or who can't drive a car, who don't have anyone to help them get to these appointments. And often those people also are among our more vulnerable population and therefore in higher need of these vaccines.
To request a home visit from the department, officials say to call the Benton Franklin Health District. You can find that number as well as information from the Transit Center on our website, yakdrynews.com. And a new Rite Aid vaccine clinic in Kennewick plans to offer 200 appointments daily. They say right now they're offering more than 600 appointments still for this week. You can register using the QR code or calling that number there on your screen. The clinic will be up and running for the next several months. They say second dose appointments are guaranteed and auto-scheduled. According to a release, they'll be administering the Pfizer vaccine.
Moderna announced it's going to begin testing its two-shot vaccine in children and even babies. They're the first U.S. vaccine maker to start tests in children under 12 years old. And company officials told Good Morning America the process will be complicated.
The first part is where we will find the appropriate dose of the vaccine in children. Children often need lower doses of vaccines than adults, so we want to make sure we find the best dose that increases their immunity. The first age group will start in 6 years to 11 years of age, the second being 2 to 6 years of age, and the third being 6 months to 2 years of age.
They're hoping to get 7,000 babies and children involved in the test compared to around 30,000 adults involved in the original trials to make sure the vaccine worked in the first place. And more Americans are rolling up their sleeves for COVID-19 shots. All 50 states have at least 10% of their respective adult populations fully vaccinated, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. As of Tuesday, close to 111 million doses of the vaccine were administered across the U.S. That's nearly 80% of the delivered doses. The CDC also says roughly 72 million people have had at least one dose. And the American Red Cross says the number of people who have already recovered from coronavirus might be higher than anyone realized. They've been testing blood donations since last summer, looking for antibodies that show if you've had coronavirus in the past. They say in just the first week of March, around 1 in 5 of the people who donated blood had coronavirus antibodies. That's a surprising number, but doctors point out it's nowhere near herd immunity, which is why it's still so important that people get vaccinated.
5:06, let's take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest. But before we do, let's take that live look outside.
And we're looking for another beautiful day today, but a few changes by the end of the work week. Could those rain chances stick around for your weekend? I'll have your forecast. It's coming up.
Plus, we'll tell you what it took to build the world's largest March Madness bracket in Indianapolis.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It's being called the world's largest bracket. A 47,000 square foot downtown billboard for the NCAA's March Madness is now up on the side of the largest hotel in Indianapolis. Sport Graphics created this massive masterpiece, which took 100 hours to print. And on Tuesday, 4 of its crew scaled the hotel to fill out the world's largest bracket.
We've labeled and numbered all the boxes with all the graphics that are going to go up on there, and they're loaded on the stages.
Right now, what they're going up right now, they're taking off the white that's already on there, so when they come down, they can drop the team names in.
60 of the 64 teams went up in about 3 hours. The play-in games go up on Thursday. After the championship game, the winning team's logo will go up in the center of the large bracket, where it will stay for a week. And starting tomorrow, we'll be following the Gonzaga Bulldogs' historic run with special coverage. On to the WHL. We are just a day away from the first time in the Tri-Cities Americans have been on the ice in over a year. Yesterday, the AMs announced Luke Zazula will serve as the team's captain for the 2021 campaign. The AMs will host Portland Thursday night at the Toyota Center. So far, no fans allowed. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, 8 people in Atlanta were shot and killed in a pair of massage parlor shootings. We have an update next.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In news from across America, authorities are connecting the dots in a pair of massage parlor shootings in the Atlanta area. Police were first called to the Gold Spa after a report of a robbery. Once inside, investigators found 3 women dead. The gunman was identified as Robert Aaron Long and is believed to have crossed the street to kill another woman at Aromatherapy Spa. One woman who works at a club nearby the 2 spas says she knew some of the victims.
I won't say any names, but they're really nice girls. They just do great massages. They do great massages over here, so it's just unfortunate.
Investigators say the 4 victims at the spas appeared to be Asian. Police said during a press conference it was still too early to tell if they were targeted because of their race. The House passed a sweeping child abuse prevention bill yesterday. It now heads to the Senate as experts and advocates raise the alarm about unreported abuse during the pandemic. The Stronger Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act cleared the House with 345 votes to 73. It would require the Department of Health and Human Services to establish national standards for tracking and reporting child deaths, along with near deaths from abuse. It would also set up the electronic infrastructure needed for states to share information about child abuse cases. The bill died in the last Congress after failing to get a vote in the Senate. The U.S. House of Representatives is expected to hear 2 immigration bills this week. The Dream and Promise Act and the Farm Worker Workforce Modernization Act will be brought to the floor Thursday. The House Majority Leader says the bills won't fix America's broken immigration system, but they could help. There's been a surge of recent migrant crossings into the U.S. from Mexico. Hundreds of unaccompanied minors are being detained by Border Patrol. At long last, President Biden is going to be holding a formal press conference. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Monday that it should happen March 25th. Biden has been criticized for waiting so long to hold a press conference. So far, he's waited longer than the 15 most recent presidents that came before him. They all held solo press conferences within 33 days of taking office. Coming up this morning, an ABC News exclusive, President Biden will be sitting down with George Stephanopoulos on Good Morning America. That's coming up right after Good Morning Northwest. Lawmakers are looking into extending an important PPP deadline for businesses. The deadline for small businesses to apply for a loan from the Paycheck Protection Program is March 31st. Lawmakers approved another $7 billion for the program that was included in the latest COVID relief bill, but representatives say the additional funds are of little use if the March deadline isn't pushed. There is now bipartisan support for legislation that would extend the program to May 31st.
Now, KapKView First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be another beautiful day today. Back to a mostly sunny sky. We're looking at a sunrise today at 7:05, sunset at 7:06, and of course getting closer to that first day of spring. 3 days away, officially arrives this Saturday, very early in the morning. So some spring-like weather is certainly on tap for us. We've been having some beautiful weather here locally. And of course, we want to see your photos, your spring photos. So you can head over to yaktrynews.com. At the very top, the top menu there at yaktrynews.com, we have a section where you can submit your photos there. We're going to show them here, right here on Good Morning Northwest throughout my weather report. So head over there, submit those photos. Always love to see them. So let's get you over to what we're seeing out the door this morning. It is a very cold start. We're actually below freezing in many spots. 29 currently in the Tri-Cities. Connell this morning, you're at 30 degrees. Dayton sitting right at that freezing mark at 32. Yakima at 28. And then Ellensburg this morning, you're sitting in at 30 degrees. So very light winds today. Not a whole lot of changes there. Very calm in the Tri-Cities up into Connell. And the allergy forecast for today, that tree pollen is back to the moderate to high category, and we have once again juniper, elm, and alder. Those would be the main pollens out there for today, but clear and quiet on the radar and satellite. So once the sun comes up, should be a beautiful day today. And looking at that mostly sunny sky, pretty quiet as well around the Pacific Northwest. But we will have some changes moving in here by Thursday. So by tomorrow, wet weather will start to stream in here. So I want to get you over to Futurecast as we time that out for you. It could be our warmest day out ahead of that front as well, very close to that 70-degree mark. So there's Futurecast. Maybe a few more high clouds drifting in here later on this afternoon. We're looking at low 60s today, and then overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we're still looking at a dry start. By lunchtime, we could see a stray shower or two popping up, and then you can see those scattered rain showers moving in, maybe a few heavy downpours that can't be rolled out. That'll last through about 11 o'clock midnight before this starts to move out. Back to some drier conditions for your Friday with a partly sunny sky, but next rain chance could be moving in here by Friday night. So as we get you over to that forecast for this afternoon, low 60s there for Yakima and Toppenish. 63 today in the Tri-Cities with 61 degrees in Prosser. Hermiston today at 62. Upper 50s there in Pendleton, and then 61 in Walla Walla. So overnight tonight, just a few clouds around, a little bit chilly, not quite as cold as this morning. Many folks should be in the upper 30s, mid 40s though there in Walla Walla with 41 in Pendleton. So there's your 7-day forecast. As we look ahead into the upcoming weekend, again, we'll have another small shower chance there Friday night, but back to some sunshine for that first day of spring on Saturday at 60 degrees. Another shower chance there on Monday, a little bit breezy at 60 degrees. And then your 7-day forecast for Yakima. You're also looking at a few showers popping up for your Thursday afternoon at 63, and then back to plenty of sunshine as we start your upcoming weekend Saturday with a high of 57.
Thank you, Kristen. 5:20. We're going to take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest, but coming up, the latest on the $1 billion Purdue Pharma plan the company is proposing to get out of bankruptcy. Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Purdue Pharma has filed a 300-page plan outlining how it wants to restructure as a new company following its bankruptcy. The plan is part of a plea bargain in a case where the OxyContin maker pleaded guilty to federal criminal charges for its role in the opioid crisis. It promises to provide more than $10 billion worth of addiction treatment and overdose reversal medications. That's in addition to the more than $4 billion the Sackler family, which owns owned the company has agreed to pay. Governors from 24 states are criticizing the restructuring. They say it fails to hold the company accountable to families impacted by the opioid crisis and people who survived it. The FDA is advising consumers not to drink this brand of alkaline water because of a suspected risk of hepatitis. 5 cases of acute non-viral hepatitis in children have been linked to the brand Real Water, all in southern Nevada. The infants and children that had to be hospitalized all have recovered. 2 adults and 3 children in the same households as the hospitalized patients experienced less severe symptoms. The FDA is asking consumers, retailers, and restaurants not to cook, serve, or sell Real Water brand alkaline water until their investigation is complete. Disposable e-cigarettes are becoming more popular among adolescents who vape. According to a letter published in the New England Journal of Medicine, close to 27% of high school students said they used a disposable e-cigarette in 2020. That's much higher than the less than 3% who gave that answer the year before. A spike was also seen among middle schoolers. 15% said they used a disposable cig in 2020. Disposable e-cigs are thrown away once the vape juice is gone and are usually cheaper than the refillable ones. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, another event canceled because of coronavirus concerns. Plus, we'll hear the arguments for and against a huge new clean energy project planned for the Tri-Cities.
And we're getting ready for another beautiful day today, but tracking several rain chances that could impact us. And what does that weekend look like? Your full forecast is coming up.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, Oregon's governor taking the next step towards making magic mushrooms a treatment option. We're talking about the timeline.
Plus, as many businesses are celebrating St. Patrick's Day today, a warning from local police on how to stay safe.
And we are looking at a few rain chances moving in over the next couple of days. I'll tell you when you will need your umbrella. Your forecast is coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and happy Wednesday, everyone. Kristen, we sure were spoiled by that sunshine yesterday.
It was a beautiful day, and we should see a lot of that sun carrying over into the day today. So if you have any plans to head outside for the St. Patrick's Day, it should be a beautiful day. But let's get you started. It is a bit of a cold start out the door. So with that clear sky, light winds, these temperatures have really been dropping early this morning. So there's that live look right now in downtown Yakima, and that's where we actually have temperatures below freezing. A lot of spots actually looking at numbers into the upper 20s. So 28 currently in Yakima. We're down to about 32 in Toppenish, 29 in the Tri-Cities. Now above that freezing mark for Walla Walla, you're at 34, and then down to about 32 for Pendleton. But pretty clear and quiet around the Pacific Northwest for today. So not a whole lot of changes today, but we will have several rain chances moving in before the week is over. So as you take a look at your St. Patrick's Day forecast for today, again, that mostly sunny sky, 54 degrees at lunchtime, and then up to about 63 later on this afternoon. So timing out that wet weather, I'll tell you when you can expect some rain showers in your neighborhood. Your forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. Oregon has removed a 100-person cap on the number of people students can be around per week as they return to in-person classes. The weekly contact limit made it challenging for school districts to bring older students back to in-person classrooms because these students typically rotate between teachers and classrooms for different subjects, increasing the number of contacts they have in a week. Governor Kate Brown ordered all schools to offer at least some type of in-person learning for all grades by April 29th, with elementary students phased in first. Oregon schools must still have 35 square feet of space per student and teacher. And Oregon Governor Kate Brown has appointed a group of experts to the state's psilocybin advisory board. They'll be in charge of creating the rules for legally using magic mushrooms for therapeutic use, which voters approved in the last election. Oregon is the first state to legalize it. Advocates are hoping the mushrooms can be used to help treat people with addiction and PTSD.
Psychedelic experiences can really help people shift from that place of real struggle. People are able to see things in a different way, to imagine different possibilities for themselves in their lives, and can get a lot of support to take those steps and actually build the way that they're hoping to be in their life.
Oregon has 2 years to figure out the regulations, including how to make sure only patients who might be helped by using the mushrooms are getting them.
Washington's unemployment rate dropped 6% in January, down from December's 7.1 rate. The Employment Security Department said that in addition to the drop in overall jobless rate, the state added 4,400 jobs in January. The national unemployment rate decreased from 6.7% in December to 6.3% in January. Private sector employment decreased by 2,800 jobs, while government employment increased by 1,600 jobs. February's unemployment rate will be released on March 24th. Lawmakers in Washington are still debating the controversial capital gains tax. The state Senate approved a bill saying you have to pay an extra tax if you make more than $250,000 a year on the stock market or by selling investments like classic cars, art, or boats. House lawmakers are debating the bill now, and Washington Congressman Dan Newhouse said he doesn't like where this is going.
If this legislation were signed into law and in the off chance it is certified by the courts, it would open the door to an income tax on all Washingtonians and take away one of our best competitive advantages to attract new business.
The IRS has said that money you make off investments, including the stock market, is still income. So opponents say the capital gains tax is still an income tax, which Washington doesn't allow. The proposed Horse Heaven wind farm is drawing up opposition from a local group called Save Our Ridges. The project, proposed by Scout Clean Energy, could bring up to 244 wind turbines, solar arrays, and battery storage to the land. Save Our Ridges says it's not needed or wanted because it would be an eyesore and the energy wouldn't stay local. However, Scout Clean Energy, the company behind the project, says otherwise.
It's very difficult to sell power that hasn't been permitted. Most likely the electrons that we generate will be delivered to businesses and homes in the region.
Benton County commissioners held a public town hall meeting last night. A majority of people who commented say they are also against the project. However, it will be up to the state board to determine if the wind farm is built. Today you might have a little of Irish luck. It's St. Patrick's Day, the reason I'm wearing the green tie, and a time where many Americans celebrate their Irish heritage. About 33 million Americans self-identify as being of Irish ancestry, according to the U.S. Census data. That's 5 times the number of people on the actual island of Ireland. The traditional wearing of green is likely to be more subdued this year because of social distancing and COVID-19. There are normally hundreds of parades across America to celebrate, but many have been canceled. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy a Guinness and some corned beef and cabbage at home. March 17th marks the assumed date of St. Patrick's death 1,500 years ago. And with St. Patrick's Day and more businesses opening up, local law enforcement is reminding drivers not to mix drinking and driving.
Buzzed driving is drunk driving. So if you decide to go out to a bar or restaurant and have a couple green beers, hey, if you feel like it's possibly affecting you, that's it. Hand the keys to somebody else.
The Kennewick Police Department says they arrest an average of 12 people each month for drinking and driving. Law enforcement around the Tri-Cities regularly adds officers on holidays like St. Patrick's Day and encourages everyone to have a plan before you start drinking. Leavenworth has already made the call to cancel Oktoberfest once again. Organizers said yesterday there are just too many coronavirus restrictions to hold a traditional festival, and they're not prepared to compromise on the experience, so they decided to cancel for this year. And check this out, a new cafe is opening up in the Tri-Cities. Shade Cafe in Richland offers a variety of gourmet coffees, sandwiches, and homemade pastries. The cafe had its official opening on March 4th and is located across the new DermaHealth Dermatology Tri-Cities building on Fowler Street. They had a drive-through as well as a new sitting area where they hope to feature local artists in the coming months. The Shade Cafe is open Monday through Friday from 5:30 in the morning until 6:30 at night.
It's now time to raise the flag here on Good Morning Northwest with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Tiger Woods has returned home after being hospitalized following that major car accident. The legendary golfer posted this message to Twitter Tuesday, saying that he is still recovering and is, quote, so grateful for the support and encouragement that I've received over the past few weeks. He also gave thanks to the medical staff at Harbor UCLA Medical Center and Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Last month, the 45-year-old's SUV crossed a median in the Los Angeles area, hit a curb and a tree before landing on its side. Wood suffered severe injuries, especially to his legs, which was repaired with a rod, screws, and pins. Authorities believe the crash was, quote, purely an accident. On to the NFL free agency. The Seahawks have lost their starting cornerback, Shaquille Griffin, signed a $44.5 million deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some good news out of free agency. The Bears signed Andy Dalton to be their quarterback after the Seahawks informed them Russell Wilson wasn't up for trade. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, we'll show you how police in Idaho were able to save 2 people from this truck that was left dangling from a bridge.
Now, KapKView First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
And happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It should be another beautiful day. Once the sun is up this morning, which we're looking at a sunrise time at 7:05, should be a beautiful day. Nice warm up from the chilly start that we have this morning. A lot of locations this morning are down below that freezing mark. Sunset for today at 7:06. So 3 days away until that first day of spring. Again, officially arrives on Saturday, March 20th, very early in the morning at 2:37. So with spring kind of officially here, we've had a lot of flowers already starting to bloom, some beautiful spring colors. We want you to send us your spring pictures. Love to show them here in Good Morning Northwest. You can head over to yaktrinews.com. At the very top, the menu that we have there, you can submit your photos there. Again, we can show them here on Good Morning Northwest. So head over there to submit your photos. Now, temperatures early this morning, as I mentioned, are very, very cold. Down to about 29 in the Tri-Cities, 34 in Walla Walla, 31 degrees early this morning in Prosser, and then some upper 20s over into Yakima. Not a whole lot of changes as well to our winds, so we'll be very, very calm for today. Most folks out the door between 3 to as much as 7 miles per hour. And we're back to the moderate to high category for that tree pollen. We have juniper, elm, alder, which will be the main pollens out there for today. As we look around the area today, as the sun comes up, we should see a lot of sun, not a whole lot of clouds moving through as well. Pretty quiet here in the Pacific Northwest. We have a few clouds that are starting to move onshore. This is ahead of that next system. We will have a cold front that will eventually swing through the area on Thursday, and that'll give us our next chance for some rain showers, maybe even a thunderstorm that can't be ruled out for your Thursday afternoon. So here's Futurecast, just enjoying some of that sunshine for today. We'll be a little bit warmer, low 60s by this afternoon. Starting off Thursday morning, we will be dry, and then by lunchtime, we could see a slight chance for a stray shower. But notice by the afternoon, maybe a few heavy downpours. Can't rule out that thunderstorm chance as well. That'll continue through about 11 o'clock midnight on Thursday, and then back to some drier conditions on Friday. Might have a slight chance for a stray shower, but a next best chance for some wet weather will arrive by Friday night. Possibly lingering into early on Saturday morning. So temperatures out there for today, 61 in Yakima with 62 degrees in Toppenish. Over into the Tri-Cities at 63 with 62 in Connell, 61 degrees today in Prosser, 58 for Dayton, and then 61 in Walla Walla. So overnight tonight, not quite as cold as this morning, just a few clouds around. Temperatures tonight down into the upper 30s and low 40s. So your 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities will have again another rain chance by Friday night, but drying out this upcoming weekend. We will be back to mostly sunny skies Saturday at 60 degrees, 58 on Sunday, and then a next chance for some rain showers will be early next week on Monday and breezy. And then your 7-day forecast for Yakima. Also looking at a few of those showers moving in, mainly by Thursday afternoon. Another rain chance by Friday night, and then back to some sunshine for that first day of spring Saturday at 57.
In news from across the Pacific Northwest, 2 people were taken to the hospital after a truck towing a trailer crashed on an Idaho bridge. The truck was left hanging over the railing, at one point dangling by a chain. Candace Hare reports.
On Interstate 84 near Malad Gorge State Park, a truck towing a trailer crashed and went over the interstate's rail. The vehicle hanging in the balance, kept above the gorge floor only by the chain connecting to its trailer and the car's right front axle, which was perched on the interstate's ledge. Police acted quickly.
We also rendered the vehicle safe by attaching some chains to the rear of the vehicle so that way it wouldn't break with the chains that were holding it at the present time that we were there.
These passengers were incredibly fortunate. Not only was the vehicle's weight perfectly distributed on the bridge, preventing it from initially falling, but a good Samaritan in the form of a tow truck driver was on the scene at the time of the crash.
I was just at the right place at the right time, and actually I give all the credit to God that I was there. That truck is just hanging on by a little chain when I looked over.
Both passengers were rescued from the vehicle. One was airlifted to the hospital, the other taken by ground ambulance in what was a coordinated effort, including over 20 different operations. When Drury was asked whether he hesitated to help in what was a dangerous situation,
No. I knew there was people in that truck, and I didn't want to see it fall.
Officials say the passengers are going to be okay. 2 dogs were also rescued from the truck. Wildlife officials are hoping to avoid scenes like this in 2021. You remember experts had to use a special vacuum to clean out an Asian giant hornet nest from a home near the U.S.-Canada border last year. They're sometimes called murder hornets because they kill honeybees. Now officials here in Washington are making plans to work with their Canadian counterparts in British Columbia to track down the hornets and try and clear them out of the Pacific Northwest entirely. In California, 2 people were killed when a large fireworks stash exploded yesterday afternoon. Cell phone footage captured the moments after the blast, and fireworks could still be heard going off in the background. The explosion caused multiple structures to catch fire, blew out windows across the neighborhood, and prompted evacuations. Another person was also injured, as well as a horse and a dog. Authorities are still investigating. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is trying to protect Texans from outrageous unpaid electric bills related to last month's winter storm. The Texas AG is suing Griddy Energy under the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act for allegedly gouging customers during the storm. Consumers were shocked to see energy bills of several $1,000s for just a few days of service. Griddy filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on Monday with over $29 million owed to ERCOT. ERCOT is the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, which has also been blamed for being unprepared for the power outage.
I'm so excited. It is now Wine Wednesday. We're back to 100% chance of wine, and we're actually going to head back to Palencia. So Victor Palencia, the owner and winemaker at Palencia Winery, has been a part of the Washington wine scene for over 20 years. He started working alongside his father at the early age of 13.
My dad worked in the ag world his whole life, and through the natural evolution of the region, some of these perennial crops, even tree fruits, transition slowly into wine grapes. And with that transition, my dad continued to work through those vineyards, and everything from the early plantations of those vineyards to the maintenance. And so growing up around that, for me, was just a beautiful foundation to really understand the wine business and consider as a full-blown career. And so here we are.
And so be sure to tune in tonight to Cap KVU Local News at 5 p.m. for the full story of Victor. And just keep in mind, this story was actually filmed prior to COVID. We're going to head back out to Palencia later on this week to get kind of an update of what is happening at Palencia. But it's now time for our 100% chance of wine giveaway. So now you can be the first person to email me at KristenW@capkvu.com, and you will win a dinner for you and your friends from Palencia's new food truck that they have out there, Culture Shock Bistro. So you must be at least 21 years or old to enter. And for those that are looking to stop by Palencia, be sure to mention 100% chance of wine for a 15% discount. So some exciting things happening there, and just excited for Wine Wednesday. But let's get you to our photo of the day for today as well, our reason to smile. We actually have this cutie pie.
Oh my goodness, look at that outfit.
Right? Look at that smile, first of all.
Love it, what a cutie.
Snoop the Bulldog Terrier. I know, I think he's happy as well that Wine Wednesday's back.
I think so too. That's
and you know what
is.
He's wearing? Green.
Oh,
for St. Patrick's Day.
He's not gonna get pinched.
It is perfect. Yeah, no. Thank you to Marcita for submitting this photo. If you have one that you would love to share, you can head over to yaktrinews.com. We have a reason to smile or photos of the day section at the very top to submit your photos there.
That's right.